What's going on? What's going on, YouTube? Got another video out for you guys. I just want to put some information out there. Hopefully, it's valuable for you, and hopefully, you can use it, like I said, for your life. Please like and subscribe. I gotta keep remembering to say that. Please like and subscribe if you find value in the content. Right? This video is pretty much talking about my boot camp experience for the military. Especially for you guys 30 plus, I'm 33 myself, we're 34 this year. It was a roller coaster, mostly a roller coaster of emotions more than physical. I've always been in shape. I've been working out 20 some years. So I'm always doing something. There's times where I have my lapse times, a couple months here and there. But just because life was lifing. But for the most part, I always stayed in decent shape. So going into boot camp, I went to Navy boot camp, which is in Great Lakes, Illinois. And I was already preparing myself mentally, physically. Like I said, I always stayed in shape, but I worked out more preparing it to go in. So I knew my body was going to be all right. It was more the mental thing. And those of you that watch my other videos know that I have a background in corrections. So you got to be mentally strong to deal with corrections, right? You deal with all kind of people, all kind of different backgrounds, and in the criminal element. So you have to have a certain kind of mindset to deal with those type of people. So that's what I knew that going into the military, different type of people, but still have a strong mindset, right? So going in, I prepared myself. I prepared to get yelled at. I prepared to work out. I prepared myself that nothing was personal. Everything's just business. I prepared myself knowing that I wasn't going to see my family, knowing that I wasn't going to be able to talk to my kids on a regular basis. That was the toughest part for me. Prepare myself that the only way I was going to be able to communicate with my family was through mail, which was new to me. I don't know who uses mail like that nowadays. A lot of people don't. So that was all tough. That part was tough. The physical part wasn't that bad. Like I said, I was already in somewhat shape. It was the mental, and the mental wasn't too bad. Like they didn't really beat up on me too much. But I'm gonna give you a little rundown. I'm gonna give you a little rundown how my days upcoming to where I got shipped off to pretty much where I'm now. I'm gonna try to make it as go through it as speedily as possible. So bear with me, please bear with me. But I enlisted technically January 7th of this year. Was my actual enlistment date. I started the process back in October of 2024. For those of you that have any tickets or anything like that, I had 2 tickets dealing with my vehicle. So I had to clear those up before I left. So if anybody thinks that you can just get some tickets and I'm a scapegoat and go to the military, you're wrong. Because when you do the background check and all that kind of checks they do, it will come up and you have to take care of it. You got to have your court date. Now you can, depending on what your situation is, you can, I guess, put guilty. I wasn't putting guilty. I said I'm gonna fight it. So it took a little longer. I should have a court date show up, but everything got through, obviously, because I made it into the military. So I had to wait. I wanted to get in before January, for 2025, but things happen. Life happens. I had stuff I had to take care of anyway with my family, moving and such. So I kind of needed the extra time. I couldn't leave just like that, So fast forward, I started the process October. Had some tickets I had to deal with. And then January 7th, I was sworn in and enlisted, right? I picked my rate, and that's one thing about the Navy, because I chose Navy. When you sign for your job, you sign for your job. So like the Army, the Marines, I'm not too sure about the Air Force. I heard they're like us. When you sign up for the Air Force, I think it's you sign up for your job, not just for the Air Force. Army and Marines, you sign up for the branch. So you can have one job and they can switch it before you go to boot camp, while you're in boot camp, they can switch your job. I didn't want that. Whatever I signed up for, that's what I wanted to do. So that's one of the reasons why I chose the Navy. Um, so I signed up for the RP rate, which is religious personnel assistant, which pretty much means that I'm the assistant to the chaplain. So whatever they need done, paperwork wise, emails sent, I'm his guy or her guy. Also, with that rate comes the other side. We call it the green side, where we're stationed with Marines, and that chaplain is stationed with Marines. So we're out in the field. So we're the bodyguard of the chaplain. You know what I'm saying? We're the bullet sponge, so to speak. So we do administrative to help the chaplain out to help with their ministry, but we'll also do the bodyguard work of the chaplain and make sure he's safe out in the field. We carry firearm and weapons and make sure they're safe. So there's two kind of sides of that rate. I'll get in another video why I chose that rate, what was my mindset with it, but this is pretty much my boot camp experience, but I'm trying to give you all from the beginning. So I was fortunate with my boot camp experience. Again, I was very fortunate because I went to MEPS. I had to go to MEPS because I did part of the process because I still have one more ticket I had to take care of. So I was able to do all my physical tests and do my like my eye exam, all that stuff. And then I also did the test, the actual ASVAB. So excuse me. So I did the ASVAB one day. I left, came back, and did the physical test, I believe, and picked my rate. But there's still some paperwork I had to get done, so I couldn't swear in right away, I believe. And I actually got back to my house, found the paperwork I needed, and they were able to scan it over to the person at MEPS and actually sworn through FaceTime. So I didn't know you could do that, but that's what happened. So I was back at my recruit station and swore in through FaceTime, and that's how I got sworn in. I think January 7th it was. So I was in. I didn't leave till March 18th. I had which was fine for me. March 17th, which was fine for me because I had stuff. You got kids and spouse. You got all those things. You have to take care of those things. It's not just like you're by yourself and you can just up and go. So there was things I had to do. I had to move my family. Things with school. School was still in session, so my kids had to change schools. So it was a lot of red tape, a lot of stuff that we had to handle before I went in. So I was cool with the time frame. I told my recruiter I didn't want to be in Chicago area when it was that cold anyway. I wanted to be kind of going into the springtime. Also with my schooling, I wanted to go into the spring and summertime. So it worked out. I didn't want to be freezing my butt off in the Midwest. So everything worked out. We had some cold days. Actually, I think it snowed all the way up until like April 18th. This is the last day I remember snowing in Chicago. So I chose the right time, I guess. Yeah, so March 17th, I actually went to the recruit station because I had my technical date was March 18th. So March 17th, I went to the recruit station. They drive us down to where I was going in South Jersey for the overnight. So like when you go to ship out the next day, you have to be pretty much at MEPS or the hotel they put you at the day before. So it's not like you ship out. If you ship out May 1st, you don't just ship out May 1st and go. You're gonna go to the hotel April 30th, whatever the last day of April is, and then you ship out the actual day, right? So they put me in a hotel. I think we had like spaghetti that night. It actually fed me pretty good. I can't lie. So it was every branch. It was Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. I don't think we had any Space Force, but we had representatives of every branch. The day that I was shipping out, or that evening, I linked up with other people from the Navy. kind of, trying to see who's who. But you don't really see everybody until the next day when everybody's separated to actually ship, right? Because all navies gonna ship together, all armies gonna ship together, whatever. So it was only 4 of us Navy um, that was planning on shipping. It was 3 guys, including myself, and 1 female. And the 1 female actually came from our recruiting station, so we actually drove down um, to Jersey together, in the same vehicle. So I got to meet her the day before. The other 2 guys, they were from Jersey and Philly area. So I met them, of course, that day. And just fast forward a little bit, the 2 guys that were in MEPS together with me, and we all shipped out the same day, actually happened to be in my same class or division in when we got to boot camp. So I got to know them real well. So it's kind of neat. So 17th happened. We had dinner. We had to wake up at 4, I believe, for breakfast. And then by 5 o'clock, we were on the bus, excuse me, heading to the MEPS. So they go through their whole spiel, make sure you have no metal in your pockets, no weapons, no anything you're not supposed to have, certain jewelry, whatever. And then they give you like a little briefing. Honestly, a lot of stuff was a little blurred because you got so much anxiety, and you're thinking about so much stuff that morning. And I remember them putting us like name tags and what branch we were, and there was a couple more papers I had to fill out, last minute papers. I had a bonus, which was last minute. I didn't even know I was gonna get a bonus. They told me I wasn't, so I ended up getting a bonus. I guess it was a sign-on bonus, so that was cool. And then, before you know it, it was lunchtime. So they said we're gonna feed y'all lunch, and then y'all heading out. I was told different things, right? I was told that everybody goes to boot camp gets there at night, right? And you stay up the whole following day, and then you go to bed that night. Yeah, it didn't happen like that. Then I was told that you get there at night, you're up all day into the next night, and then pretty much you're up like 40 something hours, 30 something hours. And that was true. All right, so we get our flight, everybody's excited. Oh, let's make sure everybody's, flights the same time, everybody's flights the same time. You see that we left from Philly, so from Philly to Chicago. So I've been on a plane before that. I think it was a year I've been on a plane, and I've never been to the Midwest, right? So already I'm traveling to someplace I've never been when the military's paying for it. So we get on that plane, I think it was like 3, 4 o'clock. Got a plane. We touched down in Chicago around. No, maybe it was later than that. I think it was maybe it was like later than that. It was like 6 o'clock. So we were in the airport for about 4 hours. We left 1:30, 2 o'clock. MEPS. We got to the airport around 3, 4 o'clock. We were in the airport probably about 3, 4 hours, and then probably about 3 hours, and then we went to Chicago. We touched down in Chicago. They're an hour behind us. It was like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then I said, you know what? I'm gonna go get something to eat because I was hungry. 2, I knew that this is the last probably meal I'm gonna have that's a civilian type meal, right? So I don't know what to expect food wise. I heard that they feed us pretty good, but I had a feeling it's 10 o'clock at night. They're not gonna feed us anything, right? They might give us some water, maybe some fruit or something like that. I wasn't sure, right? I wasn't sure what I was walking into. So for me, I said, I'm gonna get something to eat. This is my last civilian meal. I'm gonna go all out. I don't care how much it costs. I'm gonna do it. They gave us like this card with like $100 some on. I think it was about $100 some or $50. And so I got some food. I got some Chick-fil-A, the biggest large size I can get, cookie and everything before I left Philly. And I said, this might be my last civilian meal, so I'm gonna go all out. Then we got to Chicago. I wasn't hungry, but I was a little hungry. And I said, this is definitely gonna be the last civilian meal. So I got me like a pan Chicago style pizza. I always want to try the Chicago style pizza, and I said I'm gonna treat myself, right? Um, I'm gonna treat myself. So I did. I treated myself, and sorry about that, y'all. Everybody was laughing at me like, "You sure you want to eat now? You sure you want to do all that?" And I said, "Heck yeah," because I don't know when's the next time I eat, and I was a little hungry, right? So, so I did, and then went to the what we call the USO, which basically is like a lounge for military personnel. And at this point, we were all kind of nervous, right? We didn't know what to expect, right? And I just can feel the BS about to start happening because people in the USOs acted kind of, I don't think they were acting funny, but they were acting a little more strict. The other USO we were at in Philly, they were a little more like cool. This one was like a little more like firm. It was weird. So I was like, yeah, it's about to pop off. And they said like, get ready because the instructors will pick you from here. So when they said that, I was like, all right, D, you gotta get in go mode, right? You gotta get focused. Don't be laughing. Don't be joking. Don't be smiling, because this is where it all starts, right? They're gonna try to intimidate you. They don't know your background. They don't know what you've been a part of. You know what I'm saying? You're probably older than all of them, which I was, because I'm in my 30s. So you have more life experience. You know how to move. You know how to, bob and weave and pivot, and you know how to move. Stay focused. Stay focused on the mission. So one thing about the military, especially the Navy, I don't know about other branches as much. They're very into details, right? So when they tell you to put something in your left pocket, you mean your left pocket. Don't put it in your right because it feels funny. They tell you to tuck your laces in a certain kind of way. They want you to your laces in that kind of way. They tell you to tie your shoe a certain kind of way. They want you to tie your shoe a certain kind of way. They say single knot, don't do double knot. Don't do triple knot. They say put it to the left, put it to the left, don't put it to the right. They say put it behind you, don't put it in front of you. Don't put it halfway behind you. They want it a certain type of way, or they're going to F with you, right? So, me personally, that was a challenge for me because I'm like, yo, I don't like the way this feels, whatever. But I had to remember where I'm at, all right? They got the show. I'm here to learn. That's what it is. So, it's telling us, hey, put your social in this pocket, put your ID in this pocket, put your coat here, put your bag here, hold it in this hand, All right, doing everything they tell you, take your belt off, Is everything they tell you to do. They walk us downstairs, you're not moving fast enough, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I knew this was gonna happen, right? I'm with it. I won't be the first one, and I won't be the last one. Give me somewhere in the middle, right? Because if they mess up in the front, they can't be yelling at me because I'm not the front. And if they too slow in the back, you're too slow. So put me in the middle. I happen to be in the back. All right. I didn't really make eye contact with them. I just was doing what I was told to do. I went through the process. No problems, right? We're waiting for the buses to come. They pick us up. This time it's like 10:30. And I think they told us not to go to sleep. I believe they said it was like, you gotta stay up. You can't go to sleep. I tried to go to sleep. I tried to like rest my eyes. I tried because I knew that I was gonna be up for a minute. I knew that I had to recenter myself because now there ain't no turning back right here, right? So I see that as we start to slow down, I see the gate. And I said, here we go. This is what you signed up for. We get through the gate. We pull up to the front, and so they open the doors. Get out, hurry up. You're not moving fast enough. They didn't really curse it. Like I was watching a lot of videos, especially like the Army and Marines. They like cursing them out. They didn't really curse us out. They were just like, yo, hurry up. You're not moving fast enough. You're on my time. Blah blah blah. I get in there. I think the chief that was running stuff was pretty nice. Honestly, I think he was pretty nice. He yelled, but it wasn't maybe because I'm older and more experienced with life, it wasn't intimidating to me, right? It just was just he's doing his job. You got like a minute to call your people, tell them you made it, and hey, I'm not gonna talk to you for 2-3 weeks. Click. So I was good. Like I was pretty straight. Like I'm like I expected this. I watched this on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So I knew what was gonna kind of happen in a way. There's some things that wasn't expected, but I'm mentally strong. So they break us up to certain sections, start dressing us out, telling us to put certain stuff in the bag, take stuff for our property, whatever. We had to fill out some paperwork, and then it begins. They keep us in this room, paperwork room. Not even had nothing to do. We had nothing to do. Literally, it was just to stay up. And we were in that room probably about 3 o'clock in the morning. We got there around 11. We were in that room about 4 or 5 hours. And while we're in this room, there's more buses coming. There's more people coming. And it's adding to the people that's already in there. And I'm like, oh my God. So at about 4 o'clock, I started getting tired, right? I rested on the flight there. I rested on the bus to boot camp. But about 4 o'clock, I started feeling tired, right? I try to rest all day, right? I tried to, but when you're at MEPS, they don't let you sleep. It's all part of the game. The only time you really sleep is the bus to the airport, sleep at the airport, plane ride to the airport. I mean, from one airport to the next. You sleep a little bit depending on what time you get there at that new airport, and then the bus ride to boot camp. So your sleep's gonna get broken up. You're gonna hear noises. You're gonna be bumping around, turbulence. It's gonna get broken up, right? So by 4 o'clock, I'm getting tired. So I went to the bathroom with my face up. Dude, you gotta focus. You gotta focus. So I think somebody asked, when do we get some sleep? And they started kind of laughing, like, you're not gonna get no sleep probably till tonight. So you gotta remind you. I woke up at 4 a.m. on the 18th. By 4 p.m., I'm just leaving Philadelphia. So it's about 12 hours. This time it's 4 a.m. again. I'm in Chicago. I'm already up 24 hours. Then we had to go to medical. No, I'm sorry. I think we got our IDs. It was either our IDs or went to medical. I can't remember which one we went first. So let's just say we went to get our IDs first. We got our IDs, military IDs. Then we went to medical. We got our shots. Excuse me. I'm tired. Just talk about this. It's gonna be tired, see? Like any shots that you didn't get, tetanus shot, all that stuff, A, B, C, D, they shoot you up. Then it was more paperwork. Then they put us in a room and they go over the rules, right? And you're with your division that they put you with, you're assigned to, and then they call these numbers, and let's say they say 203, 204, 205, 206, or 100, 101, whatever, and that's your division, right? So that's who you go with. So it was us and our brother division. We're 205, they were 206, and it was like the actual phrase they used, but it's like the last hoorah for telling the truth. Like anything that you need to tell us that we should know about, you smoke weed, you got drunk the night before, moment of truth. Anything in your background, moment of truth. They call it the moment of truth. I was good. Everything I told my recruiter was legit, so I was gonna tell them the same thing. And they told us that with our recruiter, whatever you told us, stick to your same story. So that's what I did. I don't remember if there's anybody that said something that was different. I can't remember it because I don't remember everybody was there. But my story stayed the same. Cool, right? And then you find who your instructors are, right? So I didn't know at the time, but I had really good instructors, right? And then they give you jobs depending on the look of you, depending on a little bit of your background. You fill out these cards telling what you did before you came into the military, what your last job was, education, what you're looking for in the military. So, I'm an entrepreneur, but also was law enforcement. I was a correctional officer. So I put that on my paper, and the one instructor, um, Johnson, good dude, HM1, he was going through the papers. I shaved my, I had braids like 2 or 3 days before. I had designed up, and I shaved my head because I didn't want them touching my head, right? So I shaved my own head. They still try to shave my head. I had like little peach fuzz. They still try to shave my head. Anyway, I was bald, and I had that I don't want to be F word look, right? My CO look, right? I'm sitting in a chair. I'm right in front of him. He looks at me. Looks at my thing. He said, "What's your name?" Horn. He looks through paperwork. He starts to read my file. What I put in there. He's like, "Law enforcement, huh?" He's like, "All right, you'll be my MA." Now, MA in the Navy, it's the actual rate. It's Master at Arms. So, but MA in bootcamp division, you're like the enforcer. Like, there's rules. You're enforcing the rules. If people are we call it the bathroom too long, you get them out of there. Then you need to hurry up and shower. Hurry up and shower. You're enforcing. So your RDCs or your drill instructors, for the people who don't know what RDCs are, pretty much the drill instructors, don't have to do it, right? And don't have to beat your division. In other words, beat your division means get on your face, do push-ups, planks, different kind of exercises, right? Mind you, the Navy isn't supporting this video. This is my own video. I'm not trying to convince you to go or not to go. This is just my experience. So my boy, I worked in the sheriff's office with, he was MA for his. So I'm like, all right. He kind of told me to run down. I said, all right, bet. They gave me the same position. Cool. I know what to expect, know what to do. I already got a law enforcement background. I know how to keep men in order. That's what I do, right? It's my bread and butter. So we leave, and they said, listen, this is going to be our temporary unit. We're all moving in, getting bunks. It's pretty much first come, first serve. So the dude that I had with my bunkie was, he's from the Virgin Islands. So he, cool cat, young dude. You know what I'm saying? I had him by like 13 years. So he's like my little bro. And he was clean. I was clean. Like, I took top bunk, he took bottom bunk. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? I had a cool bunkie. We cool. And it was an adjustment. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm used to walking into a dormitory and I'm running the show. I'm telling people what to do. Now I'm the person getting told what to do with 80, 90 other dudes. I don't know any of you guys' background. There might be other law enforcement here. There might be dudes that, the little jail bid, but they got a waiver. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to talk about that too at a different time. But this is strictly just, beginning of my boot camp experience. And kind of find out there were people that did some little bits here and there. But one thing I did was I made an announcement that evening. I said, listen, fellas, I didn't choose this position because some of the positions that you get in there can help rank you up. If you're E1, you go E2, E2 to E3. So I told them, I said, listen, I didn't ask for this position because of my background. This is why they chose me, and I'm going to do 120%. It's nothing personal to y'all. This is what they told me to do. I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? And for the most part, I got their respect. For the most part, things ran smoothly. I think that first week we had 3 or 4 potential fights that had to break up or get in between them. So I felt like I was right back in corrections. But for the most part, we had a pretty good division. We had a couple knuckleheads that we had to get out of there. We call it ASMO. We had ASMO like 16, 17 people that were out of our division. But yeah, I mean, it was a challenge. It definitely was a challenge. I was expecting it, but at the same time, it still was an aha moment. Like, wow, I'm really in this mug. The first week was the toughest, just because I was away from my kids. And I ain't gonna lie, the first night, I actually got to go to sleep, After being up to 30 some hours, 40 some, whatever it was, I knocked out. I was asleep. The second day, I was like, what the heck did I do? Um, the second day, a lot of it was a blur, man. Because the way my mindset works now, and I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or what, is I'm able to compartmentalize a lot, right? So if I had bad days working in the prison, I was able to compartmentalize it. Like I didn't take work home and didn't take home to work. So when I had bad moments, and I don't say bad days, bad moments in boot camp, I compartmentalize like, yo, this is just a moment. It's gonna go through. It's gonna pass. Um, so I don't remember a lot of the bad moments because I choose not to remember the bad moments. But the second day, third day was tough. Just being away from my family, not being able to talk to them, and then the instructors start talking shit, and you got young boys just out of high school that don't know their foot from their ass. So they doing all kind of dumb shit, not on purpose, just trying to figure themselves out. And that's old heads. There's a couple older heads, people in their 30s. We had like 2 or 3 in their 40s. We try to give them game, but a lot of young boys nowadays, they don't want that game. They just want to F up or whatever they want to do. So it's a little bit of a challenge. We got through it, right? We got through it. It was something I'll never forget. The first week was tough, and they call it P days, right? It's like your processing days. So they'll yell at you, the RDCs, they'll yell at you, they'll talk shit, and they'll mostly say, I can't wait till week 2 or your first week. Yeah. I forgot the name they use it for. It's not P days is your processing days, and then tech. They say I can't wait for 1 tech, and that's how they go by weeks: 2 tech, 3 tech, 4 tech, up until 9 weeks. So they say you're in P days your first week, so don't really count that week as boot camp, but you're still there. And they say you can't wait till 1 tech, can't wait till 1 tech. We're gonna pretty much whoop your ass. All you mess ups you did, calling a chief the wrong rank, calling a petty officer the wrong rank, they gonna get you that second week. That technically is that second week, but your first week actually dealing with boot camp. And they wait for that red stamp saying that you're processed and that you're fit for full duty, FFD, fit for full duty, and they go to work. They go to work, and now that you're fit for full duty, you have to do push-ups, the sit-ups, whatever they tell you to do. You have to do it, leg raises, in and outs, burpees. You got to do it. Well, you're in processing days, P days. You don't got to do none of that stuff. They don't tell you to do it because if something happens to you and you're not through processing, it's a liability on them, right? So they have to give you a week, say your body reacts to the shots, all that stuff, before they can, excuse my language, whoop your ass. But some guys enjoyed it. Some guys like getting their ass whooped. Not me. You know what I'm saying? I work out enough. I don't need no extra. But yeah, that was beginning my boot camp experience. I'm gonna go probably a part 2 with this because I didn't realize it would be this lengthy. But that was like the first 2 weeks, and it was tough. I'm probably gonna go 3 or 4 weeks and tell you how it broke down. Yeah, I'll probably make it a 2 or 3 part session because there's some stories in there. Ooh, there were some stories in boot camp. I will tell you about. I won't even give nobody's name because I'm pretty sure some people from my division will see this. So I ain't gonna give nobody's name, but they'll know who they are by the stories I tell. And yeah, man, I mean, it's definitely a humbling experience, especially from the job I had, telling people what to do, telling people when to eat, use bathroom, and now somebody else is telling me to do it. I really felt like an inmate. Actually, it was worse than jail because jail, they get phone calls every day. Jail, they could watch TV. Jail, they could see what's going on in the world. We were totally oblivious to what was going on. Whatever Trump was saying, whatever, any kind of Putin was saying, whatever Kim Jong-un was saying, whatever, the mayor of Chicago, the governor of whatever state we're from, whatever they were saying, we had no idea. We had no idea whether it was good, bad, indifferent, affected us, not affected. We had no idea. And then our families, they might have told us, good news or bad news. So, and that was like every other week we got our phones only for hours. So they did a good job of letting us not know what was going on in the world. They definitely did a good job about that. I think it was good for us because it wasn't distraction. It wasn't distraction for us. We actually could focus on what we need to focus on. We didn't know what politics we're doing for the most part. And it was just pretty much eat, train, sleep, eat, train, sleep, eat, train, sleep, workout, and get our knowledge up about the Navy, get our knowledge up about the ranks, and how they wanted things, how they wanted to do, how they wanted the details pinpointed, for lack of a better word. Everything was paid attention to detail. Everything was paid attention to detail. Because if you don't, it can cost you your life or somebody else's life. They harped on that, I think, from P days, processing days, all the way up to graduation. Be mindful what you're doing. Be careful what you're doing. Check, double check. It's okay to ask questions because it could cost somebody's life. You think you're just gonna do something. And they showed us videos of things that have happened. So I'm definitely proud of the decision I made. I'm happy with the decision I made. I have plenty of family members that are proud of the decision I made. And it wasn't easy, you know what I'm saying? For 30 plus, we have our certain mindset. We've been living life a certain kind of way. This video goes out to really y'all. I mean, anybody that wants to join the Navy or join go into a boot camp, kind of have a mindset. But for 30 plus, it really goes to y'all because it's different for us. We got different little aches and pains. We have whole families. We got, some of us are college educated. We're not just right off the street. We know some stuff. So to humble ourselves and take orders from either people our same age, because I was close to my instructor's age. I think the oldest one, we were 6 years apart. You know what I'm saying? I think the oldest instructor, oldest RDC, we were 6 years apart. You know what I mean? So the youngest one, she was probably, they're all around the same age. So 5-6 years, we had a difference. So I was a lot closer in age with them than the people that was just coming off the street, coming out of high school, coming out of college. But I enjoyed it. I'll probably definitely give you guys a part 2 of my experience. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if it give y'all any value. Because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give y'all value. I love y'all, and I'll see you at the top. One love.